So, hello, dear friends, and welcome to another episode in our study of Zoroastrianism. Last time we took a look at some of the rituals in Zoroastrianism. Today we'll take a look at Zoroastrian festivals. So, when we look at Zoroastrian festivals, we see that they are not only a time of celebration, but they are also, in a way, deeply connected with worship. And this, in a way, we see reflects the religion's emphasis on joy, gratitude, and spiritual harmony. Now, we see that these festivals serve as important rituals to honor various deities, seasons, and cosmic events. And in this way, we see that these festivals help to bring the Zoroastrian community together as they come and together celebrate the religious and cultural way of going about. And in this way, these festivals tend to bring the community together and also foster that spirit of oneness within the community. Now, let's take a look at some of the principal festivals of Zoroastrianism. So, you have the Gahanbars, which are the 6 seasonal festivals. And we see that they divide the year into 2 equal parts and are fundamental to Zoroastrianism. Now, these festivals are tied to important moments in the creation of the world, and each celebrates a separate or a specific aspect of creation. Now, first you have the mid spring festival, that is the Maidozarem, which celebrates the creation of the sky. Next, you have the Mayud Shahem, which is the midsummer, which honors the creation of water. Then you have Paiti Shahem, the harvest time festival that honors the creation of the earth. Then you have the Ayathrem, which is at the end of autumn, and this commemorates the creation of plants. Then you have the Maidharem, the mid-winter festival that is dedicated to the creation of animals. And you have the Hamas Pait Maidyam at the end of the year, which celebrates the creation of humanity. So now if you actually look at all these festivals, you will see that they in a way show the whole creation story, which beginning with the sky, water, earth, plants, animals, and last of all, humanity. So now we see that these festivals are celebrated with communal prayers, as well as feasts and offerings to thank Ahura Mazda for his creation and to foster a sense of unity among the Zoroastrian community. Now, you also have certain days of remembrance for the dead. Now, at the end of the Zoroastrian calendar year, so we see that special days are dedicated to honoring the spirits of the dead. Now, these are called as the Farvar Digan or Muktad days. Now, during this period, we see that prayers and rituals are offered to the departed souls. And this is done to show reverence and at the same time to ensure their peace in the afterlife. Now, it is believed that the spirits of the deceased return to the world of the living during this time. And we see that the living, they honor the souls with offerings, prayers, as well as with the upkeep of the sacred fires. Now, you also have various daily as well as monthly observances. Now, in Zoroastrianism, each day of the month and each of the 12 months of the year is dedicated to a specific deity or a divine being. So, we see that either it is each day of the month and also it is each of the 12 months. Now, what does this do? Now, this in a way reflects the religion's polytheistic roots. Now, also, this in a way reflects the intricate cosmology of Zoroastrianism. Now, each deity presides over a particular aspect of creation. So, we see that each deity presides over a specific aspect of creation, and in a way, we see that the day that shares the same name as the month becomes a special day of celebration for that particular deity. So, for example, we see that the first day of the month is dedicated to Ahura Mazda, the supreme god. Now, we see that similarly, you have the month of Burman, which in a way is dedicated to the god representing good mind. And the day Baman in that month is a great day of worship and celebration. So, these observances we see emphasize the importance of regular prayer and the continuous acknowledgement of divine influences in everyday life. Now, let's take a look at the Zoroastrian New Year, that is Nowruz. So we see that Nowruz is most important, and it is in a way the widely celebrated Zoroastrian festival, and this marks the new year. So we see that this is widely celebrated and it marks the new year for the Zoroastrians. So this in a way we see coincides with the spring equinox and this symbolizes renewal, growth and triumph of light over darkness. Now, it is dedicated to Rapithwin. That is the personification of noonday and summer. And in a way, this represents renewal of nature as well as the rejuvenation of life. Now, the celebration of Nowruz is joyous, and first and foremost, it is marked by cleaning the house and by having various preparations. And this basically symbolizes a fresh start. Similarly, you also have feasting and family gatherings. So you see that large family meals are prepared, and you also have special foods are consumed to celebrate the beginning of the new year. Now, you also have the fire rituals. Now, we all know that fire is a central element in Zoroastrian worship, and therefore it also plays a key role during Nowruz. So, here you basically have jumping over small bonfires, and this, in a way, is a symbolic act of purification. This, in a way, represents the cleansing of sins and misfortunes of the previous year. And then you also have prayers and offerings. So we see that prayers are recited, offerings are made, and these are made to divine beings. And we see that this is basically done in order to thank them, to show some kind of gratitude, and also it is to ask for guidance for the following year. So, in a way, it is to thank them for the protections and the blessings that they have received during the past year and to seek their guidance in the year that is to come. So, therefore, we see that Nowruz is a time for both individual renewal as well as communal celebration. And we see that this festival extends beyond Zoroastrianism as it is observed by many other cultures in the region. Next, you have the Mehragan, that is the festival of Mitra. Now, we see that Mehragan is in a way the autumn counterpart of Nowruz. It is dedicated to Mitra, that is the god of the covenant, truth, and light. And traditionally, we see that this is celebrated at the beginning of autumn, and this, in a way, festival honors the harvest. So, and it is also a time to express gratitude for the abundance of the earth. So, like Nowruz, we see that Mehragan also involves feasting and gatherings where the community gathers together and they, in a way, celebrate the season's harvest and give thanks for nature's bounty. Now you also have the fire and light rituals during this time. So now we see that rituals centered around the fire and light are performed to honor Mitra, which again symbolizes truth and righteousness. Now, these rituals are meant to invoke Mitra's protection and to also encourage truthfulness and justice in the community. Now, although Meragan is less widely celebrated today, it was historically as important as Nowruz, that is the New Year, and it is remembered for its focus on gratitude as well as the importance of truth and justice. Now, let's take a look at the religious importance of the festivals. So, now Zoroastrian festivals are significant for several reasons. First and foremost is devotion and worship. So, we see that each of the festivals, in a way, involves an act of worship. And this includes prayers, reciting sacred texts, and also we see that there are offerings that are made to various deities. Now, in a way, these acts also we see help to strengthen the bond between the individual and the divine. And this, in a way, helps to foster spiritual growth. Next, you have the celebration of creation. Now, these festivals, in a way, also serve as reminders of Zoroastrian's central theme, that is, the ongoing battle between good and evil. Now, by celebrating different aspects of creations, like you have seasons, natural elements, and also cosmic cycles, we see that Zoroastrians, in a way, renew their commitment and this is the commitment that they have to support the good forces. And then you also have joy and gratitude. So, Zoroastrianism also encourages happiness and the enjoyment of life's blessings. Now, festivals are not solemn or austere, but we see that they are marked by joyous gatherings. Then you have feastings and also expression of gratitude. And this is for the goodness of the world. So they are grateful for all the good that has happened, for the goodness that is there in the world. And therefore the faith also teaches that happiness and enjoyments of the world's duties, of the world's beauty, are in a way divine duties. So therefore it is in a way our duty to in a way enjoy the world's beauty and also to be happy. Now, towards the end of this course, let us take a look at some of the symbols. So, first and foremost, let's take a look at the winged Farohar, also called as the Faravahar. So, this is the winged Farohar, also called as the Faravahar. Now, this we see that is a symbol of divine faith. So, they are the divine guardians who are believed to accompany the human being and keep the world in order and motion. So now we see that the Faravahar has 7 parts and each has a significant meaning. Now let's take a look at each of these parts. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the face of the Faravahar. So the Faravahar's face represents, so as you can see, the face represents the face of human beings. And therefore this shows in a way a connection to mankind. Next we see that the Faravahar has 2 wings. So you have 1 and 2. And each of these has 3 main feathers. So if you check here, you will see feather number 1, 2 and 3. Similarly here you have 1, 2 and 3. Now what do these feathers indicate? Well, we see that these feathers will indicate 3 things. That is good reflection, good words and good deeds. Now when you look at the lower part of the Faravar, it also consists of three parts. So here also you have 1, 2 and 3. Now we see that these three parts over here represent the opposite things that are there to the above wings. So if the in the two wings we saw they reflect or they emphasize on good reflection, good words, good deeds. Now this in a way are the opposite, and they in a way represent bad reflection, bad words and bad deeds. So we see that by following this will tend to bring misery and misfortune to the human beings. Now at the same time we also see that there are two loops on the Faravar. So if you take a look, 1 and 2. Now these two loops which are there on the either side, we see that the former one is in a way directed to the face, whereas the other one is located at the back. So this in a way indicates that we must look forward to the good, and we need to turn away from the bad. Now there is also a circle in the middle of the Faravar's trunk. Okay, so if you take a look at this circle over here, so we're talking about this part here. So this in a way symbolizes that our spirit is in a way endless, having no beginning or end. So we see that this in a way will indicate an endless spirit which has no beginning or end. One of the hands of the Faravar, we see that points upwards. So you see that this one is pointing upward, and this shows that we have to struggle to prosper. So that means to achieve something you have to put in the hard works, you have to toil in order to prosper. The other hand we see that holds a kind of a ring, and some interpreters perceive this to be the ring of the covenant, whereas others say that this ring represents loyalty and faithfulness. So this in a way brings us to the end of our study of Zoroastrianism. So over the course of the last few classes we have seen various aspects with regards to their rituals, with regards to their festivals, the whole eschatology, what happens after death, and this has in a way given us a kind of a good understanding of Zoroastrianism. Next class we'll take a look at some of the key elements that we find in Judaism. So thank you and see you next time.